centuries, I'm not so free, no, baby. Ooh, baby. Baby, you're so from me. Tell Sally she's beef species got everything that Uncle John, you know, baby. Baby, you're so funny. John, Sally, it's all in America, and duck back in the hour, baby. Baby, you're so funny. Cyber shit, built for speakers gone. Everything that Uncle John, you know, baby. Baby, baby, it's so funny. Uncle John did it all and said it. Oh, and now that she's back in the baby. It's so funny. It's so funny. What do we talk about today? Let's see what we can talk about. Let's talk a little bit about how the hat industry works. I'll try to see if I can kill this glare for you. Sorry about the noise from the music stand. Okay. More light, maybe? Alright. The deal with hat shops is everything that we order is very, very seasonal. So in other words, when we start getting into the nice spring weather and everybody's starting to think about straws, if it hasn't reached official straw season time, like let's say we ordered a spring order for May 1st. If it's too early, let's say it's April, we can't get straws. So it's almost like half the year the company is all set up in gear for felts. The other half of the year they're set up to distribute straws. So when you want something, you kind of have to order it in advance, like very, very much in advance. You know, we order stuff like 6 months in advance and stuff, you know. They make them for us. Then they churn them out when it's, you know, straw season. So there's these in-between times where everybody's waiting for their whippets and their, you know, their ashers and this and that. They, I really want an open road or a Stratoline or a whippet or something. And felt season's getting closer and closer. You know, it's like August, September, you know, and people are starting to, I don't know, put on their jean jackets. It's getting like to the point where you can't wear a t-shirt. It's not really summer anymore. People are starting to think about felt hats. The thing is, we can't get them. So everybody wants them. So there's this little period where it's still technically straw season because the felt season might, you know, roll around. Let's say our orders for September 1st or something like that, you know. So that's when the hats are due to come in. And then they generally don't come in around the 1st. They come in a little bit after, you know. It's generally pretty late. And they come in drips and drabs, you know, like a big pallet out on the sidewalk, like, you know, layers, those wooden pallets. Huge, like just boxes and boxes, cases, like 115 cases. You figure, oh, there's got to be whippets in here. No, it's like Stetson caps, Stetson, like, you know, sun hats, or some weird kind of like corduroy yacht cap, or some kind of Greek fisherman made out of like, I don't know, suede. You know, it'll turn out to be 115 cases of like exactly what you don't want, you know. And then like a week later you get another like 137 cases, and then it's up to the ceiling. Everybody's, we got the hugest order, and yo, get ready, it's probably some felts. And then it's like lady stuff, more caps, and then like one felt hat, like you know, whatever, a Tri-City in you know, like a flat fashionable hat, and you know, none of the classics came. So basically, when you guys want your whippet and stuff, you know, in September, and you know, it's all over the internet, and everybody's saying this new hat came out, oh, we got this new one and that one, and you just want it, and you know, like JJ's is out of everything. What's up? You know, they're out of everything. It's like we're waiting for our fall shipments to come in. And basically, when our fall shipments haven't come in and nobody's stuff is coming, it's basically they haven't shipped yet, you know. When it becomes straw season, the straw is coming. When it becomes felt season, you know, like let's say it's September 1st is the day that we want to get our felts in. We order them for September 1st. We know they'll probably come in around September 11th or September 14th or something, maybe. But that's okay, you know. And you know, you wait, and the model you want just doesn't come in till like, you know, much later or something, you know, mid-November, late November, December or something, and you're wondering how come, why are you guys out of everything? Well, it's like we want the hats as much as you, probably more, you know. We probably want them more than you, because we have like all these people who want the hats, and they're writing us about it, and they've got orders, and they've been waiting, and we're waiting, and we have people who leave their names, and you know, we're getting ready to call them, and then you open up the 100 cases, and yeah, there's no whippets there. So it's like that. Everything is very, very seasonal, and if you want to get something special order, let's say we want to get like a felt hat during felt season, but it's not something we want to order 6 months in advance. We just want to get one Tom Mix for somebody, or maybe 12 ranchers. We can do it. There's something that they call stock service hats. So when you look at Stetson's catalog, as a wholesaler, not as a retailer, the wholesalers have catalogs. They have little symbols on it. It'll say something like an S in a red box. And what that means is that that hat is in their warehouse most of the time, and they have, a selection of them in the warehouse. But if it's something new and experimental and, brand new, they won't have, they might have stock service on popular models like Open Road 6X and Silver Belly and Black and, Acorn, or, Temple Black, Gray, and Brown, things that are very popular, common, that sell lots, Those would be stock service hats and stuff. Like a Carson, a Pawnee, a Rancher, a Dune, something like a real common Western hat. So there are certain hats that we can order, and if they have the hat in stock, they'll mail it out to us, and we can get you more Ashers or more this in the middle of the year. But if it's not stock service, you can't, because ordering them is basically ordering them custom, and they have to make it for you, and it takes a long time, like a really long time. So that's why we order them like, we order straws in the winter and felts in the summer, because it can take them, a half a year to get everything made. But the way it works is when they have their felts, they push all their felts through their machines, right? Everything's coming through in felt season. At the very end of the felt production, what they do is they make their white hats. The white hats and the eggshell hats and the hats that are very, very light. I don't know if Silver Belly is included in this or not. Maybe, maybe not. But the really light hats, what they have to do is they stop production, they shut down every machine, and they have to brush them all out. They have to take all the little black felt residue and brush it all out, the grays, the blacks, the browns. And when they send the white stuff through, they have to clean all the mechanisms before it goes, every single step of the way. The blocking, the stiffening, the this, the sewing, the blah, 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 the heating, the cooling, all those little steps. And then they push the white and the lighter colored hats out at the end. That's the last stuff they do. And after that, they stop production again, and then they have to brush all the machinery out, and they have to get all that felt dust out. It's just like, it's in there for like, half a year of doing felts. They clean it out, and then they shift gears for straws, and they block the straws instead of blocking felts. So it's the same kind of thing that if you want to make up some felts in the middle of the straw year, they can't just do it. It's just not going to happen, because they're doing one season and you want something from the other season. So it's impossible. There are certain things they could get for you, but like I said, stock service hats. But they're not going to be everything. It's not going to be a lot of stuff. It'll be some basics, and the chance of them being in stock when it's off season, that's also kind of small. So talking about how the hat business works. Basically, it might be the middle of Christmas season or something, and the guy from Stetson or from whatever, Dobbs or Shea or Hannah Hats or Jonathan Richards or Stetson Caps or anybody like that has a sales rep, and the sales representative makes an appointment with us. The boss comes down, and usually some of us take a look at some stuff too, and they bring swatches of fabrics, felts and stuff, and they bring samples of their hats and their caps, in these big bins and these big bags, usually duffel bags if it's caps, and it's like big sort of round hard cases, cylindrical hard cases, look like drum cases for their hard hats. And they have like straps that you could hold them on, big long tubes, hat tubes. And they come and they show us the samples, and what we do is we match a shape with a color, a pattern. So if we like the way the Asher looks, we'll say, okay, this is a nice hat, what colors can we get this in? He'll show us his book. We'll flip through the colors and we'll decide, we'll order them. Sometimes we'll go, take some time. We'll put in the order, a little bit later. Sometimes we do it right in front of him, but it's all done custom, and they make them up to our specs. With caps, it's really custom. The guy comes in with 50 different cap shapes, and when we find like a really skinny cap with nothing baggy on the sides, this would sell well. It's nice. How does it feel? We try it on. If it's too shallow, it doesn't feel good. There's something up with this. We don't like it. But if it feels good, it looks good, everybody agrees, we all kind of pass it around, the boss passes it around to some younger guys. If everybody likes it, we'll say, okay, let's get this cap. And then what we do is we have a huge book of swatches. It's like a dictionary of just pages of swatches, little squares like this big. And each one of us will vote on 10 patterns that we like. Every one of us who works there, so if we've got 12 employees, we'll take a little vote at the end, and if pattern 112 gets the most votes, we'll do that. Pattern, 116B gets, a total of 7 votes, that's good, But if something gets 1 vote or 1 or 2 votes, we won't take it in. And we generally take in with caps, we pick some shapes, a skinny cap, a wide cap, a small newsboy, a wide newsboy, we take things that look classical, but we make some variety. Try not to pick gimmicky shapes, things that are experimental or two-tone stuff, And then we pick the patterns, and they're all done completely custom for us. Most of the time we pick the linings, not always, but sometimes we pick the linings and the accent colors too. Same thing with the tweed companies. We have caps that we like, and we'll go into stock and find the number on the cap that we always sell sometimes. Okay, let's do it again in brown tweed, gray tweed. Some things are easier, but they're all done in off-season, and we order everything, we see it. We basically have to see, the pattern. We have to see the shape, try it on and stuff. We don't order from photographs and stuff. Sales reps know not to do that because, we'll just tell them to come back when they have samples and stuff. And that's it. It's done, like I said, completely in the off-season. And then when we get to the on-season, it should be here. Sometimes they're late. I'm going to say most of the times they're late. If something's due in on the 1st, it'll come in maybe the 6th, the 11th, the 14th. But it's the nature of the business. And the good thing is, if we're getting it late, at least we know everybody else is getting it late too. Some people get it slightly before others, but they ship them out in waves. Most of the time they ship out colors. They might send us 4 or 5 models in gray or something. They just got some good gray felt in. We'll get our gray whippets and our gray temples and stuff, and our browns in both, So, okay, they made some browns, some grays, and some cognacs, you can tell. But they churn them out as they make them, and then we get them. Our choices are we could refuse it or we could take it. So basically when they come late, we accept it, and we sell them. But that's a lot of the time. That's the reason why we don't have hats in stock. It's because we order them for, the beginning of the season, but they kind of drips and drabs during the year. We'll get 6 to 10 shipments. Huge shipments, 100 cases sometimes smaller, 13 cases, 30 cases, but they break it up, and it comes in drips and drabs, just little bits. It doesn't all pour in at the very beginning. So yeah, that's how the hat business works, basically. A lot of times, if a hat comes in and it's not exactly what we ordered custom, if they do a bad job or they make a mistake, that happens sometimes, then we have the option of sending the hat back. A lot of times we don't do that, and what we do is we sell it at a discount. It'll go into our sales rack or something. If something came in wrong, sometimes we'll accept it if it's just a small mistake, but if it's a big mistake, we generally will get it at a discount, because sending it back is very expensive on both sides. So nobody likes to send the hats back. Then they have to sell them at some kind of cut rate to some other client, really cheap. And so they try to get us to keep it at a discounted rate. And a lot of times that's what happens when you see a sale hat. Other times a hat will come and we won't be that happy with the felt. The felt will be okay, but a little bit sensitive to grains and stuff. Sometimes people never notice that ever in the lifetimes of a hat. Other times it curls a little bit, and other times it'll curl on some hats and not at all on other hats. But when we see that, a hat will go bam right onto the sale rack. Also, if we have a hat for too many years, like the McGill Untouchables, those things, we just ordered too many of them. We ordered like 6 or 7 different styles, and each one of them in 3 colors, and it just filled up like an entire side of the stock area, like rooms. So, instead of lasting for a year or two, it lasted for like 4 or 5 years. Sometimes we just order too much, or we order redundant things, like we'll order a burgundy hat from 4 companies, or like a red plaid hat from 3 different cap companies, and we wind up having triple the amount of red plaids, so it lasts for a few years. Things like that, bam, go into the sale rack. We only have limited space on the floor. It's like a library or a supermarket, so if there's something at eye level, we want it to be something we have stock of and something that we can get you. If we only have like a size small and double extra large, we don't want everybody saying, whoa, that hat is the coolest, can I get that in my size? No, we don't have your size. Oh, can I get that one? No, we don't have your size. Instead of it being like that, we take those off. The ones that we don't have any good sizes of, we throw them in a sale rack. And then you get to get it for half price, and we get an empty space on the shelf. It's a win-win. So yeah, we can't keep things in the store too long because they also get shop worn. So if it stays in the basement for 5 to 10 years, things happen. Ribbons get wrinkled, heat, and the radiators can dry things out or whatever. So you don't want merchandise to be in the shop for years and years. You want it to turn over in a year or two, and if it lasts any longer, bam, onto the sale rack. So there are definitely some new additions on the back room sale at jjhatcenter.com. The Fulton is probably one of the the really good ones, and the Cordoba. I'm going to say those 2 are fantastic. A lot of the hats I mentioned in the last sale video are gone. So yeah, those are 2 of the best. I'm going to say the Valencia is no, not the Valencia. The San Sebastian. That's what I'm thinking. That's a 3-inch brim. We don't have a lot of sizes in that. Also a great hat. But the Cordoba, being like a 2-inch brim like this with super quality felt, sort of like the one I'm wearing, it only has a welted edge, which I think is cooler. That's the reason why it's half price. We redesigned that hat with a regular raw edge, called it the Ken. So we can't just hash the stock into the new Ken stock, because people will get a hat that looks slightly different, So even though they're technically the same hat with just a different edge, we have a lot of stock on them, so we have to clear them out half price. We wind up not making any profit on it, but we wind up making some money. At the end of the day, money comes in. Even though we're just breaking even, it's still money. And during the pandemic, things are slow on the sales floor. So mail order has to be stepped up a little bit, which is one of the reasons why we have a lot of crazy sales now. A lot. There's a third off the entire inventory for almost 10 months now. It's been crazy. So it's a good thing. You guys get some really higher end hats at some affordable prices. They're beaver hats in these high ranges that people couldn't access, or custom hats that a lot of people are trying Kens and Seville's now, which are exquisite, just state-of-the-art quality, and kind of like the soft stuff that I wear. And some of my favorite hats in the entire catalog. But people that were unable to access it before, because now they're like 30% off and stuff. So yeah, the Cordoba, that's a really good one. It's basically just the same hat as the can, but with a different edge. So if you could find some Cordovas in your size, Gazan, buy it, and it's half price. Anyway, it's bad. I got a really dry throat. Let me just get a drink. Hold on.